startups at Seoul Startup Hub. This is Steve Austin with Silicon Valley iLab, and I will be joining you along with several presenters from around the world soon at your go-to-market training camp. So before we get together, let's review a couple items. The rest of this video will show you 2 points. One is the very powerful 5-step customer message. Please review this and practice it before we get together. It will really help move things forward and help clarify your thoughts. The second point is a template for how to pitch to investors. This will make things easier, so you'll find in the template a place to put in 1 or 2 facts for each key point. Work on that before the workshop. You don't need to focus on making a beautiful slide deck. The key point here is to get the critical information that an investor needs to see. That's the key point. So just put 1 or 2 major pictures on a slide if you find it, but don't concentrate on that right now. The main thing is to get the critical points, okay? Well, that'll help a lot, and we'll have a very successful go-to-market program. I look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Steve Austin with Silicon Valley iLab, and on behalf of Seoul Startup Hub, good luck, see you soon. This is a warm-up class before our formal pitch workshop. Here we're going to cover 5 steps to communicate your message sharp and tight with a short, to-the-point message. This is not about technology at all. This is completely about the customer engagement. Okay? 5 steps, 1 to 2 sentences for every answer only. So we need to practice to get our story tight and to the point. So here we go. I'll make examples as we go through it. The first one is to get everyone on the same page. So it's simple. What's our industry? Here's an example. Hi, I'm Steve, and I'm with the healthcare industry. I'm in online education. We are accounting software for mid to large-size companies. We serve the power industry, delivering electricity to homes and companies. So you get the idea? Simply, what is your industry in 1 sentence? Good. Part 2. Who's your customer? Now here we'll talk about this 2 ways. The type of company and who you call on in the company, the job title, if it's B2B. Here's an example. Number 2. Our customer is power plants that run the power and provide electricity for the city. At the power plants, our customer is the general manager or the director of operations. Another example. Our customer is medicals and clinics that do lots of lung and heart x-rays. Another customer. Our customer is consumers, children between 6 and 12. Our customers are consumers, moms with children under 12. Our customers are consumers, men and women who like to play sports and ride bicycles. Our customers are mid to large size companies for the accounting systems. We call on the director of accounting and the CFO. You get the idea? So part number 2 is who's our customer and what's the job title if it's not a consumer. If it is a consumer, we should say something such as the age group, if it's married or single, or if it's a family. For example, this is consumers, and this is for kids who take lots of pictures. This is for consumers who are retired and looking to travel during their retirement. So specify who we're looking for in the customer sector. Number 3, we say, what's their problem? So the problem is power plants use lots of raw materials, gas, oil, coal, to make electricity. There's environmental impact on this, some of which are quite negative. There's a problem. For accounting, some companies now are taking cryptocurrency in payment, yet there's no way in their accounting software to handle cryptocurrency or track it. Education is expensive, so our services for online education helps reduce the cost. I went a little further than just the problem there. So you get the idea. The third step is to identify simple problem. Now here you can also use two sentences because sometimes you need a setup statement that sets the context. For example, when I talked about the power company. Power company needs to deliver electricity to the city for all of its workers and citizens. And the raw materials can have an environmental impact. So there's a two-sentence setup. So the third step is to identify very simply what's the problem. If you have the time, you could add one more step, which is to indicate how serious is the problem or how much it costs. For example, companies that deliver parcels and packages drive thousands and thousands of kilometers per day. The effect is enormous amounts of fuel burn and many trucks on the road. So the problem, now we can see this. And if you had a specific customer, you could go further and say, shipping company X spends 1.5 million euros per day on fuel alone. So there's your impact statement on item number 3. So to rehearse, number 1 is what's your industry? Number 2, who's your customer and their job title? And number 3, what's the problem you're addressing? Number 4, your solution. Our solution is to provide courses that people use to build their skills to make them more employable and keep them up to date with what's needed in business. Our solution is to provide impact reports to power plants so that they can easily track what is the impact of all the raw materials they're using to make the electricity. Our solution is to provide easy-to-take pictures that post to all your social media so that kids can share what they're doing easier. Our solution is to make vacation travel for retired people easy and seamless. So number 4 is whatever is your solution. Now notice we're not talking at all about technology. We're talking about the user experience. And this is why it's important to practice this. And it also makes it much easier to tell your story when you don't fill it. In the future, if you have a second meeting with an investor or a key customer, when it's appropriate, you can drill down into the technology. But to set the stage, it's easier to focus on the customer's needs. All right, the 5th step, and critical step that's almost always left out by tech companies is, what is the benefit for the customer? So the benefit for online training, you can keep up to date on your training, yet you can save a lot of money on education. The benefit for the accounting software for cryptocurrency. This allows you to increase your sales to a new segment that is using cryptocurrency and yet not lose those customers to someone else. Increase your sales and keep your customers. Or for the Meditech, our system uses AI to read X-rays and pre-screen them so that the easy to diagnose are faster to diagnose and the more challenging ones are set aside for the experts. We see that we can cut the time of X-ray diagnosis by 45%, saving around 100,000 euros per week at a large clinic. So you get the idea. 5 steps. What's your industry? Who's your customer? And what's their job title? Number 3, what's the problem that they have? And if you have time, what's the cost impact? Number 4, what's your solution? And number 5, what's your benefit? These all contribute to your elevator pitch. In fact, you can use this for your elevator pitch. So here's how we'd like to use this. Sort yourself out to these 5 steps. Use this as your inventory of parts from which you build your message and your story. Keep it simple. Let people follow you easily and don't get lost with deep problems of technology and wonderful, exciting solutions. The real benefit is the human benefit. All right? I hope this was helpful. We'll see you soon. Thanks.